Hey everyone, my name's Tyler Ellison, and I really want to talk to you guys about something I've been taking more advantage of lately, and I feel is positively shifting my own perspective and is really helping me perceive reality in a very calm way, and in a very fun way, in a very connected way. And what I'm referring to is just getting more in line with the planet, just getting more in line with nature, and through doing so, getting more in line with yourself and your humanity and all of that. Now, we're very used to, as mankind, this ultra civilized Homo sapien, species of, whatever we are. Um, we get very, very used to living in our synthetic environments of cars, of buildings, of carpet, of synthetic clothing, of synthetic foods, all of this different stuff. Now, I'm not saying these things are bad or terrible or pointless, but along with becoming very used to these things, we also become very used to all of the constant stresses and constant stimuli that permeate our civilizations. Artificial lighting, stress from jobs, stress from responsibilities, personal pressure we put on ourselves, or the pressures we feel other people are putting on us. The social norms that society puts on people, all the different responsibilities that we feel we have to meet because we're choosing to meet them, and all the just the different things, the music that's popular, wear this, don't wear that, buy this, don't buy that, all of that stuff. When we spend all of our time in these types of environments, where that's the type of mental energy and that's permeating around, and at the same time, that's the sort of physical world we live in, these synthetic environments, we become very bogged down and very disconnected from ourselves. This isn't the case for everybody, but it's very easy to really fall into those sort of phenomena and those sort of tendencies. So, what I want to bring up for you guys is just like some really awesome things to do that can really help you to navigate through, like mankind and mankind's civilizations, as they're developing, and they're always getting better and better and more in line with who we really are, and it takes some transitioning and it takes some time, so might as well make the process more enjoyable. So an easy way to get in alignment with nature, get in alignment with the planet, is to literally just spend more time outside, particularly in like nature, near trees, and just in a place that's far away from a lot of man-made things, away from a lot of power lines, away from a lot of buildings. Just really spend some time having fun in nature. Just walk around and just observe with your senses, the natural world that's consistently happening all around you. It's the most amazing thing, and it's something that we really take for granted. It's something that we think is always there. We're like, oh, don't worry, the environment will be there. Of course trees are there. I know what trees look like. Why do I need to go out and like look at trees? Why do I need to go outside and do this? I know what all that stuff is. I don't care. But what's happening is we develop this mental image of what the natural world is, and we treat it kind of like a movie we've seen before. It's like, oh, I've already seen that movie. I don't need to see it again. But if we look at nature as this unpredictable, unexpected mystery that we can like go out and involve ourselves with, going outside and exploring the natural world can be a very intimate and a very personal and a very invigorating experience of really taking the time to look at the natural world from a new perspective, and really just playing around with it, just having fun. It's kind of like being a little kid again. And this is one of the easiest things you can do, because if you go outside and you spend some time in nature away from civilization, away from the mental and emotional energies of society, and away from, just the environment of society, if you really see what the environment of the planet's like, and then, come back to society, which is literally like on this planet, you have this refreshed perspective, because you see that this like tiny little like piece of civilization really isn't all that's out there. And that's refreshing. That's amazing, and the human spirit loves that, because the human essence doesn't like to be put in a box. It doesn't like to be limited and constricted. I mean, it's natural. Its nature is to expand and explore and create and like discover. And if we spend all of our time in the same environments over and over and over again, the same cities, the same districts, the same neighborhoods, the same streets, we become used to it. It becomes routine, mundane, over and over and over again. And I mean, it's easy to make these things amazing, these everyday experiences, fascinating. And an easy way to do that and to refresh your perspective is to literally just spend some time outside in like the woods, in nature, in fields, by like natural bodies of water, just like for a little bit, like each day, get away from just all the stuff that we have in our cities, just for a little bit. And from there you'll notice your perspective changing, because you're seeing that the artificial construction of society isn't all that's out there. There's so much more out there. And that is beautiful and amazing. Now, something you can do to make this experience better. Let's say you heard what I said, and you're like, wow, that's a fantastic idea. I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go into the woods. I want to give you some amazing tips to make this experience even better. Now, one of the amazing tips that I want to give is make sure that for at least like 20 minutes every day, if you can do this, just get sunlight exposed on your head. Direct contact, no hat, no anything, just sunlight hitting your head. If you're going to spend, this time outside and exploring. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, one, we know sunlight is going to help the body to produce vitamin D3. That's super important. Your body requires that. When you don't get enough vitamin D3, you get some like really weird things, rickets, I believe it's called, and just some like other health problems. So you're helping your body to produce this. But also you'll notice, and as the seasons start to change, more and more people notice this, it's really hard to like be unhappy when the weather's nice and like you're feeling the warmth of the environment and of sunlight. And one of the things that's happening here is that when sunlight's hitting your head, the light's going into your eyes. But on top of this, there's actually a gland in the brain called the pineal gland. It's located like right inside the brain. And this gland actually has light receptors similar to your eyes built into it. And when sunlight's hitting your head, the pineal gland's taking in this sunlight, and the pineal gland does some really cool stuff. One thing it does is it produces melatonin. The pineal gland's responsible for your wake and sleep cycle. So through allowing sunlight to permeate through your head, you're helping your pineal gland register, oh, it's daytime, I'm awake. And then when nighttime rolls around, the opposite begins to happen. So you start to have a more consistent wake and sleep cycle. But the pineal gland's not just responsible for that, it's also responsible for the production of serotonin, an excellent mood regulator, one of the most prominent ones. It produces this. So through doing this, not only are you getting more in alignment with nature, more in alignment with the planet, but your body's also beginning to get more in alignment with itself, and you're producing hormones that help you to feel good and have more consistent moods. So this is something incredible. This is something that's very easy. It's free, that you can literally just do every day. Just get 20 minutes of sunlight. That's really all that's required. And the pineal gland also produces a chemical called DMT, which is a little bit different than the other two that I mentioned. It doesn't necessarily make you feel good or help you sleep, but it's what's released when you dream, and it helps people to have a more lucid experience of reality. And can really help actually people to have healthier perspectives of reality. It's a very not well scientifically understood chemical, but it is a chemical nonetheless that many spiritual people put emphasis on and believe that it helps people become more in tune with themselves on a spiritual plane. And I'll do another video on DMT later, and the pineal gland for that matter. But for right now, sunlight is going to help you naturally generate these three things to help you sleep better, to help you have a healthier perspective, and to help your mood be more consistent. And if you're combining that with being outside, away from society for just some time each day, you're helping yourself to get more aligned with the planet. And the good thing is you bring back that awareness that you've developed while out in nature back into society, and therefore you're beginning to uplift society, which is a very nice thing. Now the third thing I want to get into is just like the trifecta of things to do while outside. So if you combine these three things, I mean, you're literally doing the easiest things ever that are like so great and will help you to really just become more in tune with everything that's good. And this third thing is just being barefoot outside for at least 20 minutes. Literally, that's all it takes. And being barefoot is important for a lot of different reasons. I'm sure many of you noticed we're always wearing shoes. Always. Almost always people are wearing shoes. And that's not a bad thing. But you'll notice the consistency of there's a consistent stimuli, a consistent type of stimuli the nerve endings on your feet are always taking in. And that's just the flatness of the shoe. The boring old shoe. Always flat, devoid of texture, devoid of sensation. It's just, flatness. It's the same. So your feet become very, very used to this, and like the nerve receptors and the nerve endings on the foot actually become less sensitive and less able to perceive stimuli because they're just always getting bogged down by this boring old foot shoe thing. So literally just spend some time barefoot outside. This is going to actually help to stimulate the nerves in the feet, and it will help you to develop an awareness that you probably haven't experienced since you were a little kid. Because when you were a little kid, you were barefoot more. You knew what things felt like. And with your feet, that is. And this can be very, very, very awesome because you're developing a new awareness of reality and a new way to perceive, your sense of touch, and a new way to expand your sense of touch. And there's also some very amazing physiological things that happen when a person is barefoot on the earth. There have been recent studies that in almost every single case, it's shown to be effective. And that is when someone is barefoot on the earth for 20 minutes, and if longer, even better, they are actually reducing inflammation in their bodies. So let's say somebody has arthritis, joint pain, muscle pain, a sore throat, allergies, just all types of stuff, all types of things like this. Getting outside and literally just letting your bare foot touch the earth. It can be grass. It could be a stream. It could be dirt. It could just be holding a tree. Even that, because that's connected to the earth. You will actually begin to reduce inflammation, and it will actually help you to receive some a really amazing health benefits that human beings obviously have evolved with. And through doing these three simple things of just being outside in the wilderness or in the woods, sunlight, and just being barefoot, you can actually do some tremendous physiological and psychological healing to your body. You have to pay no money for it. You can just do this every day and you'll feel so good. I promise you. I feel like $1 million from doing these things. And they're great. And I'm always happy to be doing them. And as a matter of fact, it's self-perpetuating. The more you do it, the more excited you feel to do it because you know how good it feels and how easy it is and how at peace you can feel when doing it. And as a result of being exposed to that inner peace that these situations and those circumstances invoke, you remember what that state's like, so that inner peace can be generated at any time and you bring it with you. And I wanted to share that with you guys because it's something that's very simple that, we as humans have access to because, we live on a planet Earth and all that. So, it's just something we take for granted and it's easy to forget about. So, it's just something I wanted to bring to the table, remind everybody of. I hope you guys liked this video. Have fun playing outside. Maybe I'll see you guys out there.